Today we're going to be doing some coaching on Fortune's Keep, and I'm going to be giving you a few different tips for success so that you can start to drop higher kill games and play more consistently. You know, as I always start off these videos on Fortune's Keep, this is a very different map than Rebirth. It requires a different gameplay strategy and gameplay style. So today we're going to be focusing on three main components: positioning, approaching fights, and repositioning. And I want to bring up a major point of repositioning on this map that not a lot of people are talking about, and it really dawned on me the other day. Now, when it comes to positioning, the most important thing is positioning with cover and finding a good angle. There's a lot of long range fights that you could take. There's a lot of open areas, so we want to find a good angle and put ourselves in a good position. There is a lot of finesse ability on this map in both Winery and Town, as well as Keep, but you can easily get caught out in the open for half second and get shot by another teammate or get shot by another team. So we really need to be paying attention to positioning with cover and finding a good angle, which kind of leads me to the approach, which is being patient on our approach, understanding that we don't have to fight right on top of everybody like we do on Rebirth, because Rebirth has a lot of POIs. Fortune's Keep has, you know, Town, Keep, Winery, and, you know, some in-between areas. So you don't always have to fight right on top of everybody like you would on Rebirth, which brings me to my last point, repositioning. This is one of the most crucial things to understand, that on Rebirth, if you were to fight a whole entire game at control, that is unheard of, right? To stay at control the entire game, you never do that. You always at some point reposition out. On this map, it's not uncommon to stay in one of the main areas for the entire game. So don't feel like you absolutely have to reposition throughout fights. If you feel like there's a lot of teams around that area and you're playing it well, don't feel like you have to reposition. Just kind of take what's given to you. By the way, you're going to see the Craig here. I'll leave that Craig, my Craig loadout down in the comments below. I just did a video on this today for you. And also, if you are looking to get better Rebirth or Fortune's Keep, just consider subscribing down below. My whole goal is just to help you get better, and I do videos every single day. So right here, pulling this back, I obviously know that there's two in church right here. So I'm going to go ahead and play positioning. I'm going to go ahead and play my high ground using parkour, and notice that I have plenty of cover. Those are kind of the main things that we are looking for, is a power position and cover. Cover being the most important. We're going to get that down. We're going to get that thirst, but we get caught a little bit out in the open. This is what I talk about, that half second where you are out in the open can put you in a really bad spot. Now, I do have cover. I'm aware of where I can go, and I don't have plates right here, but because of my positioning, I can play a little bit more aggressive. Because of the fact that I have a lot of cover, I have a lot of different areas that I can escape to, I can play this a little bit more aggressive based on this minimap. Immediately push back in. I get that down and thirst. Now, minimap shows one across. This guy has a pistol, so we're just going to get out of here. Now, let's talk about this situation right here. We're going to plate up. I'm going to see one right in front of me. Now, what's going to end up happening is we get full plated. I'm trying to see what I can find. I see this person right here. Now, why do I do this? Well, I do this for my aggressive players because I know that's most likely the last person on the team that I've been fighting. I'm not totally sure, though, so I'm going to play it safe. I'm not going to wipe that team because I need to give myself as many opportunities to get high kills as possible. Now, I hear one right in here, so we're going to go ahead and push in. We're going to play this a little bit more aggressive, but once again, notice that I don't push all the way in. Look where I challenge this from. So I challenge this from pretty close to the door, so I can immediately turn around if something bad happens. Of course, I have a stim that I can use to my advantage. We notice that two are up to my left. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with you here. You know, this game is not perfect. This game's not perfect, and we're going to learn from my mistakes here, which are exactly what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to go ahead and push in here, constantly clearing buildings. Little bonus tip for you is, of course, you always need to be clearing. And when we talk about anticipation, it is anticipation with intent that somebody's there, and if somebody is not there. So what I mean by is anticipating with the intent to actually fight that person. You are assuming that person is in that location, and if they're not, then you keep going and keep moving on to that next area that they could be. We're going to go ahead and get that guy right there. We're going to go ahead and challenge right here, and I was feeling really rusty. My shots weren't good, and look, that's part of it. You're going to have nights like that. You just lock it in. You try to go back to basics, play a little bit slower, put yourself in a little bit better positions, and then you can go ahead and start to try to regain a little bit and play to your strengths. You know, some of you, your close range fights aren't your strengths, as well as the areas. If you fight a lot better in Keep than you do in Town, then go ahead and fight more in Keep. That should be your initial rotation. If you fight better in Winery versus Town, go to Winery, and same thing if you fight better in Town. Now, as we push up, I get a little too over aggressive. This is where I talk about this is a little bit different style when it comes to positioning approach. Rebirth is very fast paced, move and go and constantly be kind of challenging. Whereas Fortune's Keep's a little bit slower. We can still drop high kill games, but that positioning matters. Right here, I miss some shots. I get caught in a really bad position, very out in the open with no cover, and I end up going down right here. I'm going to try to self-revive. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get it off. I appreciate that sub right there to whoever actually just subbed. I hear the noise. So we're going to drop back in on loadout. Part of regaining is making sure that you have loadouts up. Now, that's the last one. I actually calmed to them, hey, we should focus on trying to get another loadout right here, just in case we die. You know, you want to be fighting with loadout guns as much as possible, and part of that is always having a loadout that you can choose from. Now we're going to go ahead and push up right here. Once again, I'm just going to tell you this right now. I'm going to die in this situation because of poor positioning and poor cover. I'm playing this as if it's Rebirth, not like it's Fortune's Keep. We're going to go ahead. We're going to get the down right there with the Craig. Craig's really good. It got a buff in the recent update, so make sure you go check out that video. Now, instead of playing this to the left and playing a little bit more cover and trying to play a little bit more cautious, I push over this way and kind of push up the stairs. And what ends up happening is, yes, I win that gunfight, but I leave myself susceptible and very out in the open to the person behind me. So a lot of times it is about slowing down just a little bit more, because look at all of this, right? You see all of this cover. There's a lot of buildings in here that you can finesse. There's a lot of cover over this way. There's a lot of, you know, buildings down below and areas you can finesse here. But look how much open area there is. There's a lot of open area here. There's a lot of open area in here that you can get shot from. You can get shot from this way towards from tower to grotto. So you always have to keep track of where that cover is. Where can you go if you need to heal up, replate, or reload? Now, we're going to go ahead and land close by. I'm going to grab the NZ, which was nerfed, by the way. It's still a good option. It's very low recoil, but statistically, it's just not fully there yet, or it's not fully there anymore in terms of that time to kill. So we're going to go ahead and rotate over. Now, let me preemptively tell you, right here, we are going to do a great job of positioning and how I approach this fight. Now, I start to play a little bit more patient, trying to see what I can find. Don't see anybody around. I'm not just full sending, trying to see what I can find. We're going to go ahead. We're going to grab the, I hear enemy flying in. Don't quite see anything. And am I camping? No, this is positioning. Camping is when you sit in a spot and you don't move for an extended period of time. I'm just putting myself in a good position. You don't always have to fight right on top of everybody. Now we're going to go push up here. We grab the satchel. I see one right in front of me. I don't need to shoot just yet. We're going to switch to the UGM. And now not only am I playing good positioning here, I'm also holding enemies out of circle. Quick tip for you. Unless it is respawn disabled endgame, you should never be fighting a team and gas at the same time. There's no need to. Make the decision early to push ahead into gas. You don't have to go crazy early, but do it early enough that you can put yourself in a good position. So we're going to get one. We're going to get two. And I have 7 kills, by the way. We're going to get the break right there. We quickly switch to the NZ. We get the down right there. We get almost the thirst. We're going to go ahead and refocus onto that next enemy. And right there, we get 9 kills. So we pick up 2 kills right there simply because of positioning. Very easy kills. By the way, we're going to finish this game with 18. So we're not off to a good start so far. We've died twice. We put ourselves in some bad positions. But we're really going to start to pick this game up, put a few things together. And games can quickly turn around on this map just because of how dense it can be sometimes. You get a lot of teams in a very small area. And because of the fact that now we're dealing with circles are a little bit tighter towards the end game, and lobbies do tend to stay a little bit healthier. You know, 7 other teams still alive, still a lot of teams. We catch one right there in a good position, just not able to get that down. Now, this is exactly what I talked about. Now, I'm partially taking what's given to me here, but I look at this circle and I'm like, I don't want to fight a team while I'm having to cross the bridge and cross out in the open, only to get third party by team across. So we're going to start working our way across, especially because I hear fighting over in Winery. So I'd rather go fight those teams and then hold the team that's rotating from keep. Should be a free kill. We catch one over to the right here. We're able to easily get this down in thirst. Now we're going to go ahead and push over. One flying in. We've got 10 kills. We're still about 2 minutes or so left on respawn, so we still got plenty of time to pick up a high kill game and put something together here. This is where sometimes you just got to take what's given to you. You can pick up a lot of kills end game. I'm trying to basically see if that guy has spawn protection, see if he's going to give it up, see if he dives down. We catch one right here. We had all the shots with the Marco. Now, once again, caught in a bad position. I know that there's a team and keep behind me, right? We saw at least one team over there, if not 2. And I noticed that there's 2 teams fighting below me. So not only do I get caught. I'm in a good position, right? I'm approaching this well. I'm playing patient. I don't want to just go full head on their level and try to, 1v4 them with movement. No, I'm going to play a little bit higher ground. I'm going to shoot down on them. I'm in a good position, except I failed to remember my cover. I get absolutely smoked from somewhere behind me, either grotto or keep, because I'm just so out in the open and I'm a sitting duck on this rooftop. By the time I drop down, I end up getting killed by the team that I was fighting to begin with. So once again, my teammates clear this out. We're able to go ahead and drop in here. We've got 12 kills, still 7 other teams. We're going to go ahead and keep rocking the NZ and the marker right here because I don't have my own loadout guns. We challenge around the corner. We're able to hit shots. That's a team wipe. We've got 5 other teams, 13 kills. And let's go ahead and finish up this game right here. I decided to test out the M4. It's okay. Once again, not in my top 5. Top 5 for me are going to be M4, Craig, Cooper, Nikita, and MG42, with the Farah, the M13, maybe even the XM4 being a little bit more viable. Now, can't quite get the thirst there to get the information. Trying to see what I can find. We've got 1 flying in. And notice I'm not too aggressive right here. I'm trying to not play necessarily a little bit more patient. I'm just trying to check corners, make sure there's not another enemy lingering around. Now he's going to end up pushing right into me. A little bit of strafe right there. We get the down in the thirst with the Marco because I can't hit a throwing knife. Last one is over all the way across. 16 kills, still 5 other teams. And all of a sudden, this game's turned a little bit, right? This game has become a much better game. We've got 16 kills. We've only died 3 times, so a very good, KD-wise, we're in a really good position. It doesn't fully matter, but, weekly KD is something that you want to pay attention to. Are you improving? Did you take a step back that week and focus on why you either did one of those 2 things? Are you really struggling with positioning? Are you struggling with execution? We've got some guys up top. And right there, by the way, I thought they were in this little area right here, which technically would be above me. They end up being on roof. So we're going to go ahead and play jump spot. Now let's talk about re-engaging. We're going to go ahead, challenge up here. I get caught a little bit in attack sprint, and right there, I just took too much damage from the first enemy. I know that there's 2 up there, so we're going to go ahead and replay. We're going to not play too over aggressive. We're not going to try to make this crazy move. We're just going to go ahead, we're going to replay, and then we're going to re-engage. Now, I want them to, I'm trying to bait them to jump down. They're not going to. Of course, they're going to stay up there. We grab the quick extra plate with, by the way, those resurgence crates. I tell you not to loot too much. Sometimes it's okay to hit those to be able to get, that extra plate. Trying to see what I can find. Notice the difference. The first time I got caught attack sprint, this time I'm kind of waiting for them to actually peek. Now I get the down. Now, as I push up here, I'm playing a little bit patient, trying to see if this guy's going to peek. Don't see him quite yet. There, and now we're going to go ahead, try to see if he peeks. He doesn't peek. I'm trying to play this a little bit more patient, give myself the advantage. If I can break him or do a little bit of damage, that's going to make this 50-50 a little bit easier. Now we get the COD timing, then we just hit shots with the marker. We're able to get that down in thirst. So there you can kind of see the patience and the approach is a little bit different than Rebirth. Playing a little bit smarter with how we're actually going about approaching teams, playing a little bit more patient sometimes, and other times we are playing aggressive if we need to be. And we do want to keep challenging with momentum. I always talk about challenge with momentum in terms of if you get a clean first kill, you can immediately challenge that second enemy, but you got to be smart and constantly be aware of what is going on around you, as well as your cover, because you can be third-partied at any point in time. Now we're just going to go ahead, try to find this last guy right here. You can see how quick this lobby actually died out. We had 5 or 6 teams just like a minute or so ago, but a few wipes here and there, and all of a sudden, we're down to the last enemy, trying to find him. I think TCAP or I don't know if TCAP or Sloppy gets him. We're trying to guess where he is. We're kind of assuming that he's down below right here. Think about where he could possibly be. We've already cleared this whole area, so he could be down here or he could be underneath, but we're not totally sure just yet. He could be over to the right, not shooting at us, trying to see if he's over to the left over here, and you got to find him, right? So this is part of finding. And I want you to think about this as if it's a full team. Don't think about this as one player. This is very different when it's just one player. But what about if this was 3 enemies and we had to find them? That guy shoots at me. He calls a cluster from on my level so that we now know that he's down below. Sloppy's able to get the kill. There's 18. So I hope you found today's video helpful. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.